it's not healthy to carry around grudges.
And it make you feel good sometimes too.
Yeah, it feels real good. And it feels real bad to keep that hate and anger inside of you. It festers away, and you think of, well, if he says this, then I'm going to say that. And fuck him. And he shouldn't have done this. Well, I shouldn't have done that. But I only did that because he did this. And you have these little stupid arguments in your head instead of just saying hi and just being friendly or saying you're sorry or saying, hey, man, I don't have a problem with you.
There's a guy that a few years ago, I drove my car on the street in Montreal. It's like in the evening. I see a tall guy coming at me, and he begged for money. Put down my window. This guy, I swear it's true story, is the guy that used to bully me in school.
Whoa.
I say, I don't want to say his name, but I say, hey, wait a second. I park my car, park the car, go talk to him. I say, what the hell you doing here, man? He's like, and he thought I would be angry because when he see me, he saw his reaction, like shoot, like now I'm world champion, you know,
right.
like I can beat him up, you know.
Right.
Back in the day, he was like 3 years older than me, was bigger, he was beating me up in the bus, this guy. Now he see me, he's like kind of a scare. I get out of my car, he don't know if he should run or not. So I go to him, I say, what you do here, man? He's like you. He's like, yeah, I know, but things doesn't go well for me, you know. I was like, all right. It's like, man, you're a tall guy, you're good looking. It's like, what you doing here, man? It's like, I give him what I have left on me, you know. Like I don't remember, like 100 something. You know. I give him. I say, get out of here, man. It's like, you're full of potential. It's like, get out of here, man. Like, when I was young, when I wanted to be like you, you're a tall guy, man. You're good looking. It's like full of potential. So I shake his eyes, like, no problem. And then he say, thank you, George. You get out, then I don't hear about him. Few months later, I go to my parents' house for having dinner. Then my dad say, hey, you know who come to the house a few days ago? This guy. I'm like, yeah, I met him. He said, yeah, he said you met him in the street, but now he said he came to thank you. He wanted to talk to you, but I said you don't live here, and I didn't want to give you a number. But he said, look, George, he talked to me. And he said he changed my life. Now I have a job and I feel good. I just want to say thank you to him. And it feels so good. Like,
wow.
Just when I met him and I didn't get angry at him, like because it was still there. He did very bad stuff to me when I was young, but when I see him, it made me feel good. Kind of a relief now.
Yeah.
And this guy, when I was young, he was beating me up in the bus all the time. He was ridiculizing me. I had like Adidas pants that you can tie like this. He was like taking off. So I was like an underwear in front of everybody, in front of the girl. He was beating me up all the time. And he was stronger than me. He was like 3-4 years older than me. And he was tall and strong guy. He's a hockey player back in the day. And yeah, I couldn't beat him. Even with martial art, he was always stronger than me. He hurt me a lot, like back in the day. So my dad, one time, got beat up in the bus. So I told him, because I came back with a black eye. One time in my life, I told my dad what happened. I never said anything, but I said my dad, I said, yeah, he's a guy in the bus, he beat me up. He said, I tell him the name of the guy. So my dad, what he did, he found out I'm from countryside, so everybody knows who everybody lives. He goes to the house, talk to the dad, he say, listen, stop, can you tell your son to stop hitting my son in the bus because he need to be focused on the school? And the dad, when my dad came back, he said, hey, I want to talk to his dad, he's gonna stop. So he said that his dad was like drinking and stuff, and he was beating the shit out of his son. Oh. So the way this guy learned to communicate through his dad was beating him up. He was drunk and beating him up. That's the way he was communicating with me. He was beating me up because he learned the same way from his dad to communicate. Oh. So I was just happened to be at the wrong time at the right time in his life at the perfect, I was the guy that was getting beat. So when we say good and bad, he was not a bad person. To my version of life, from my perspective, he was a terrible person back then. He was terrible. I wanted to kill him. He made my school time miserable, man. I was humiliated all the time. I was getting beat up, and I was very proud person. So I used to go fight him all the time because I was proud. And at one point, I fought him so many times. He said, oh, this guy is completely insane. I stopped bothering him because I was never giving up. even though I was getting beat up all the time. But to my own eyes, he was a bad person. But through his eyes, it was a different story. And through his father was a different story. Everybody was a different story.
Yeah.
It's just to say that when I met him, that what we talk about, like, it feels so good. Just to meet him in the street and make kind of a peace and give him money. Like, yeah, you beat me up, you didn't. But you know what? Even though you did that, I give you the money. And now it make me feel like I'm kind of a revenge.
Yeah.
Better than a revenge. It make me feel like, yeah, man, you see, without me, you wouldn't have nothing maybe to sleep or eat tonight. So I give it to you. I still give it to you if you do that to me.